Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, chers amis, welcome to the Night of Ideas, a night of debates and of important conversations about where we are at the beginning of 2021 and who we are. And hopefully a night of friendship between us here in the UK, in France, and across Europe. We all need friendship, don't we? But it is not only about us. The Night of Ideas is all over the world, in 200 cities and 75 countries, where all French cultural institutions and embassies are staging debates and discussions this year on a really, really important question: what does it mean to be together? Here in London, the Night of Ideas opened this Tuesday, and we decided, since we were all challenged by unusual and trying times, since we're all separated actually, that we had to have several nights, not one, to explore what together means today. It will be les nuits des idées, Friday included. So you know the theme of this edition, a classic and probably an obvious choice, indeed, when facing the difficult situation we've been facing for almost a year now. Our nights are intended to bring us together around these major questions: the uncertainty in which we live, the novelty of the challenges we have to face, the legitimate fear that some of us feel for the future. So many aspects that, in a way, we share, and are a strong invitation to come together to discuss, to confront our ideas, and to share our views. But what does together mean? What does it mean when I'm here and you there, and we communicate remote? What together mean when our life depends on the distance we put between each other? What does it mean when countries are redefining their borders? This week, we will offer you conversation with a fantastic guest about the pandemic and compassion, on Brexit, yes, it is done, on Europe, on freedom of speech, on our differences, on diversity, and so much more. Before I officially open this first night, let me say a quick word on those topics. It is no news. The whole world is experiencing a pandemic. It is a terrible thing, and sadly, it can be a deadly thing. But it is also something we can learn from and must learn from. Among the positive lessons that we've learned last year is the necessity to emphasize how solidarities are crucial. During the first lockdown, we all went out. Every evening, we went outside and we clapped for the carers, clapped for the NHS workers. We all did it. I did it. At the French residence, we still have the rainbow on a window. Why did we do that? Because we knew that it was their everyday and patient work that was the thread of life, that was fueling life. This is what really matters: care and compassion. How can we get the best out of that lesson now? Second, Brexit, Europe. The UK has left the EU. Now that it is done, what is the meaning of we when we say we, French and British? For France, this means a renewed commitment to our relationship, a desire to continue working with our partner, a duty to find new ways to achieve that, a common interest to think about the issues that faces us today. No country is alone in our world. The problems are still there, believe me, and there are so many crises and challenges and opportunities, we know that. So on a more positive tone, our artists do create together. Our scientists do experiment and find new medicines together. Our children grow together, study together. So we'll talk about that this week. Third, 2020 has been a difficult year in many ways, but not only about the COVID. France and the UK and other nations have been one more time victims of terrorism. We must and will stay strong and calm. France will. We will continue to defend and exercise our fundamental freedoms. Freedom of expression, freedom of thought, freedom to believe or not to believe, freedom to live in brotherhood. During this week, we will ask ourselves how we can produce a genuine debate of ideas, confronting ideas while avoiding intolerance, exclusion, lies, or ideology. Last and not least, the year 2020 was another important year in terms of struggle for a better, more inclusive, and more diverse society. And I will be positive on this one. The place of women in the history of art, in science, their place in the artistic institutions and in contemporary art are being totally rethought by brilliant personalities. I'm happy to tell you that they will share their views with us. 2020 also raised important and difficult questions about our history. Black Lives Matter is a wake-up call and a door opener at the same time. Clearly, there is a need to rethink European history. Or should I say, histories, because it's probably what we need. Plural points of view on our past to better prepare a common future. If France and Germany could do it, we can all do it. So here we are, caring for others, speaking together, living with one another, or looking at others, sharing feelings and moments, confronting visions and ideas. This is what together means. Est venue l'heure des traditionnels remerciements. The Night of Ideas is turned toward the future, side by side with younger generations. I'm grateful to their important contributions to our little night, to all pupils and students from several French and British schools in London. They've been working hard on these issues for months. I would like also to thank the Maison Française d'Oxford, the Bristol Festival of Ideas, the York Festival of Ideas, the European Parliament, the Austrian Cultural Forum, the Institut of Cervantes, the representation of the government of Flanders, the Goethe Institute, and many, many others who are our partners for this night. And of course, we had a close collaboration with the Institut Français d'Édimbourg and our network of Alliances Françaises across the UK. Many events are organized beyond London this week. I would also like to express my warmest thanks to the sponsors, without whom this event could not exist. First of all, the Trust of the Friends of the French Institute and its president, Marc Moore, as well as eminent trustees and members of the French Circle. I would also like to thank the CIC Banque Transatlantique and PwC for renewing their commitment for this edition of the Night of Ideas. Last but not least, one more time, I express my deepest thanks to the Institut Français du Royaume-Uni, the Cultural Department, and the Higher Education and Research Department of the French Embassy. Thank you, team. You've been fantastic. Nothing would have been possible without you. You've been great, as usual. And let me tell you, you've been exceptional for the past 11 months, as we've been living a very unusual situation since February last year. The time has now come to open this night, but before I do so, I would like to ask you to join me in expressing our gratitude to Claudine Ripper for everything she did for more than 3 years now. And I'm sure I speak in your name when saying this night is her night. with more than 3 years and so many nights. Actually, this evening is not one evening, it is the evening of 1,001 nights. As your ambassador and as your friend, I thank you, dear Claudine, and best of luck for the future. As the musical goes, when they go in London, but this is lockdown, but as the musical should go, 1,001 nights is not enough to spend. The story has no end. So let us dare to be ambitious. The story has no end. Je déclare ouverte l'édition 2021 de la Nuit des Idées. I declare the 2021 edition of the Night of Ideas open. Have a lovely evening and a great, great night.